Facebook and Stadium. And we welcome you high atop Kerr Stadium, everybody. Matt Martucci, the former NFL player, Ross Tucker. Is this an opener in every sense of the word for both of these teams? Colgate and Holy Cross starting off the Patriot League slate. It's a playoff type of atmosphere, if you will.
Well, both those teams mentioned that to us, especially Colgate, because they learned this lesson the hard way last year. They lost to Lehigh in the league opener, and it didn't matter that they won their last 5 games by an average of 37-6. That first loss prevented them from an FCS playoff berth.
Colgate with just about everybody back. Holy Cross, it changes a little bit. The start of the Bob Chesney era today, and they had some holdovers from a year ago. Blaze Bell ended up being one of them.
They got a good wide receiving group, and you're right. Bell is really the bell cow of that group. Over 600 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns a year ago. Second team All-Patriot League. He's back for a 5th year, and he's really the emotional leader of the offense for the Crusaders.
For Colgate, meanwhile, one of the best defensive units in the Patriot League a year ago. Patafrie, the leader last season. Nick Wheeler making that challenge this year.
It is an unbelievable job what Wheeler did last year. Let's see if he can build on it. First 3 games, no sacks. Last 8 games, 11.5 sacks. As a result, he is not only a preseason All-American, he is the preseason Defensive Player of the Year in the Patriot League.
Well, last time Colgate opened with a Patriot League game 15 years ago. The Raiders went all the way to the FCS title game. What's in store for Colgate and Holy Cross? We're about to find out. Raiders and Crusaders, next.
Hello, everyone. You are watching Patriot League football. Holy Cross taking on Colgate here in Hamilton, New York. You're watching on Facebook Watch. I had the opportunity to talk to the new Holy Cross head coach, Bob Chesney, just hours before the game about the team's chemistry coming in to this first game. Here's what he told us.
Well, not with my name. How about that? Let's start there. I think as a full team, right, I think is the important piece of it. There is obviously a change at the top, which, you know, I was fortunate to have the opportunity to coach. It's not any one man's deal here, though, as you know. What I hope it's defined as is that I hope that we're playing, you know, fast, emotional, right, smart football, and I hope that we're having a lot of fun doing it. You know, I think that's the important part for me, is that I don't coach this sport because I hate it. You know, I hope they don't play it because they hate it. I hope it's something that we all really enjoy doing. Hope it's something that we realize every week we have a chance to showcase our talents, and at the same exact time, you know, make some mistakes, learn from it, but continually grow together as a team. And it's within that team that then you spend really the rest of your life with those relationships that have been developed and tested in fire. And I think that's something that's pretty special that not everybody has the opportunity to accomplish in a lifetime.
I know. I'll be here all day on Facebook reading your comments. You can join in on the conversation using the hashtag HCVersusGate.
Thank you very much, Morgan Uber. The start of our football season here on Stadium, and of course Facebook, Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker. As this is a little bit different of a dynamic. You don't get a Patriot League opener for these two schools very often. And we'll go right back down to Morgan Uber.
Holy Cross head coach Bob Chesney has had 8 winning seasons in 8 years as a head coach, and now getting his first season here at Holy Cross off will be a real challenge because they're facing the preseason favorite Colgate Raiders. Adding to that, there's a lot of new faces here on this Holy Cross team. Only 3 starters return on the offense and 6 starters return on the defense. The positive, though, according to Coach Chesney, is that with mostly a new coaching staff and so many new players, Colgate doesn't have a lot of film on their game plan or of many of these players. In fact, Colgate head coach Dan Hunt told me that they had to go back to watch junior starting quarterback Emmett Clifford's high school tape from 3 years ago. Emmett didn't start at all as a sophomore, didn't play at all as a sophomore. He only played in 2 games as a freshman, so this element of surprise factor could certainly play in the Crusaders' favor today, Matt.
Thank you very much, Morgan. A reminder, join the conversation, facebook.com/watchstadium, or you can check in on Instagram as well using the hashtag HCVersusGate. 5th season on the sideline for the Colgate head coach Dan Hunt. 7-4 a year ago, but denied a FCS playoff berth thanks to a head-to-head tiebreaker with Lehigh. Holy Cross, the purple, Colgate, the maroon. Cody Wilkinson set to start off this season for the Crusaders. And Owen Rocket and Abu Darami Soiree back deep. Had heard that some of the formations a bit unconventional for the Crusaders, and talking to some of their coaching staff, no different necessarily with the way they're going to start the Bob Chesney era.
Just giving you something extra to think about. Man, there's a lot of energy here. There's always something special about the opener.
Raiders, Crusaders, and we're underway. Rocket from his own end zone. And smacked, and quickly. Nice open field tackle. And Grant Brenneman and this Colgate offense will get things started. Spencer Gilliam, second string wideout, playing in his first collegiate game, the one to make the stop.
That's how you get noticed by the coaching staff. You make a big stick like that in the opening kickoff.
Reigning Patriot League Rookie of the Year, Brenneman. And he takes it himself. Quickly dropped by Neil Vorster after a short pickup.
And there's already somebody down for Colgate as you take a look at James Holland. He's closing on 2,000 yards for his career. He was granted a fifth-year eligibility because of an injury he suffered earlier in his career. And he's looking to try to make the most of this final campaign.
Offensive line depth was one of the things that this Colgate coaching staff told us they were really excited about this year. They've had a bunch of injuries. Jovan Wolford shaken up on the first play, their starting left tackle.
Wolford's a guy that's really come on as of late. An offensive line coach, Brad Dunley, before the game was telling me he actually had an NFL scout come in to take a look at Wolford a couple weeks ago. Man, you hope that's nothing serious for a guy, a senior, on his first play.
Just had a look at Ryan Brady for Holy Cross. They're the leader of that defense. Here on second and long. Brenneman being chased, but with room to run. The feet have improved. First down and then some. Out to the 39-yard line.
They didn't block the defensive tackle, Neil Vorster, for some reason. Nice job by Holland, number 2 on the cut block. And the thing about Brenneman is he's not overly fast. He probably runs a 4.8 40, but he knows exactly when and where to run, which is why he's been so productive on the ground.
Joe Lang ran him out of bounds. First and 10 for an offense that averaged 27 points a game a year ago. It brought back 9 starters. QB draw for Brenneman. And a 5-yard pickup. Makes it second down and manageable. Jack Haddon with the stop.
And there he is, Ryan Brady. 86 solo tackles last year. He's a preseason All-American, 3rd in the whole league in tackles. And the Holy Cross coaches told us he is clearly their leader on that side of the ball and the guy they count on to provide not only the leadership I talked about, but the production.
Fourth play for the Raiders, 3 straight runs, make it 4 with Holland, who gets a few yards before Brady and Mark Ebo combining on the stop.
As a former offensive lineman, I really enjoy watching Colgate's offense. You know, they have athletic linemen up front. More often than not, you're going to see at least 1, sometimes 2 linemen pulling. They utilize their athleticism. They're not a bunch of 320-pound kids. They're a bunch of kids that can really run.
Martinson, the tight end, is the motion man. And the back changes. It's now Matthews in on 3rd down and short. Colgate converted 41% of its 3rd downs, not this time. Neil Vorster, senior from Exeter, New Hampshire, the first one to him.
Second time Vorster has been completely unblocked. And that time he almost made both plays there because Brenneman gave the ball thinking that Vorster was going to take him, but Vorster was still able to get in on the play just because there was such good push on the left side of the Colgate offensive line by the Holy Cross defensive line.
Josh Serra on the punt, but movement on the line beforehand.
False start, 33 offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Eric Lewis is our referee this afternoon. That Colgate drive over after 5 plays and 28 yards. DiNicola getting away from it. And it wasn't the right move. All the way down to the 1-yard line. Ends up being a 52-yard boot for Josh Serra.
What a punt by Serra. I don't even know if they needed to down it down there. It might have just stopped at the 1-yard line. That was perfection. And you can see Coach Chesney on the sideline talking to DiNicola saying, hey, we got to field that. We got to catch that. That's a good 15 yards of field position at least we just gave up.
There's Bob Chesney. And let DiNicola know about it. And the Bob Chesney era begins with a new starting quarterback after the graduation of Peter Pujols. The keys to the car, if you will, going to Emmett Clifford, who's a junior actually out of the same high school that produced Pujols. One of the best ever to do it in the program. And just to get out of there a little bit, pick up a couple of yards. So 2nd down and long coming up. Holy Cross was a program that was ravaged by graduation. What was 26 seniors a year ago for the Crusaders. Just a handful of starters returning on both sides of the ball. 2nd and 8, Cozier. And good fake by Clifford, who sold it out to the 15-yard line at a Crusader 1st down.
Yeah, and that's a very important 1st down. When you're backed up on the 1-yard line like that, at a minimum, you want to get some type of room to punt the ball, and you want to try to avoid that guy right there, TJ Hall. 6'1", 230 pounds. He can really run. He's like so similar to Ryan Brady for Holy Cross. It's uncanny.
He only played in 4 games a year ago thanks to what was a torn ACL. But the vocal leader of this defense, Clifford again himself, looked like he wanted to throw that, and Wisniewski sniffing it out. Drops it for what's a 3-yard loss.
They call him Wiz, and that's what he does best. Run the alley and make tackles in space. He is responsible for the weak side alley. So Clifford pulls the ball, Wisniewski's there, he's a wrap-up tackle. That was rugby-style tackle right there. Kept his head out of it, roped him down, lassoed him to the ground. That was perfect.
So now becomes what is 2nd down and long. Cozier at the bottom of your screen. Some hesitation for Clifford. And again, a defense with 9 starters back. Nick Wheeler all over him.
You know, Wheeler proving, as you see right in the middle of your screen, that he's not just a pass rusher. Deulius, who's the linebacker typically to the field, he's the one that came in, number 41, and got in on the play, and then Wheeler able to finish him off, puts Holy Cross in 3rd and real long.
Just a 1-yard pickup for Clifford. They fake it to Cozier, and Clifford, all over, and ball comes loose and into the end zone is Steffen. Second member of his family to play for the Raiders. John Steffen making the most.
And he gets the belt for it. You'll see Clifford pulls the ball, and the right side of your screen right there, number 21, TJ Hall, the guy we just showcased, strips Clifford. Steffen picks it up. A couple of Pennsylvania boys playing linebacker for the Raiders, getting the first score of the season for Colgate.
And doesn't take long.
That is exactly what you could not have if you're Holy Cross, by the way. I mean, as an underdog playing against a Colgate team that's loaded, you cannot afford to turn the football over, let alone deep in your own territory for a touchdown.
Yeah, talking to Bob Chesney, the thought was that they would have to play almost a near-perfect football game to come in here and win. Josh Serra, the holder. Chris Puzzy, one of the best in the league last year. Missed all of 2 extra points the whole season. And puts a stamp on this one. Colgate was known for its defensive unit a year ago. John Steffen, after the TJ Hull hit, falls loose. I've got it. Touchdown Raiders here on Stadium.
All over the country, football programs are known for a belt or chain after making a big play, especially when it comes to defense. And we just saw the action on the Colgate sideline this year with the belt. So last year they had a belt. It was actually a WWE replica belt. It was more of a toy belt. Junior defensive back Abudarame Soare saw it sitting on one of the assistant men's basketball coaches' desks, and he thought it'd be a good idea to bring it to the team. So he was one of the very first ones in that Cal Poly season opener last year to use that. And this year, Colgate's coaching staff decided to surprise the team with a new customized championship belt. They used the same company that the University of Alabama does. It's a pretty nice belt. I had the opportunity to try it on. It was 8 pounds. And Colgate, the way that they wanted this belt to look, because they were able to customize it, it was about their strength and conditioning. So they had the barbell going through, and it was a reminder that they're tough. They're a physical and relentless team when it comes to their defense. And I asked Coach Hunt, they showed it to the team on Tuesday after practice. I asked Coach Hunt who had the best reaction. Without any hesitation at all, he said Abu, but he did say most of the players just handled it pretty professional. This group is about their business and getting the job done on business. So fans at home, what are some of the best reactions that you've seen with a chain, a belt, after the defense makes a big turnover? Let us know, and we'll share some of those comments on Facebook. Continue using that hashtag HCVersusGate.
Thank you very much, Morgan. Yeah, last year's belt looked more like a toy. This one a little bit more of a professional look. $7-0 in favor of Colgate. And what's a beautiful day here in Hamilton. If you've never been here, about an hour outside of the greater Syracuse area, not too far up the road from Binghamton as well. And a good start for Dan Hunt's Raiders. John Steffen with the 7-yard fumble return for touchdown. Thought one of the most interesting things I took out of Colgate's walkthrough yesterday, Dan Hunt at the end of it said, I'm out of things to say. Just go out here and take this game like you know you're supposed to.
That happens sometimes before the first game. I mean, they've been thinking about it since December, right? I mean, you've been focusing on this. Your next opportunity to come out, really let it loose, and really show what you've got and the improvements you've made. And they've been talking about this Crusaders game for a long time.
Puzzy into this one. Dominic Cozier from his own 10. And able to slip through.
Take one more look at this from behind. Clifford was about to throw the ball right here. Watch, he's about to try to throw it. Now, that's sometimes what happens when you're an inexperienced quarterback like Clifford is. That's a run-pass option. He has the option at that point to throw the ball, and I don't think he'll make that mistake again. You know, if you've already gotten free from a tackle in the backfield, you're probably not going to have enough time to pull the ball up and throw it one more time, and I think Clifford learned that lesson the hard way.
Second possession for the Crusaders. 6 yards of total offense so far. Alexander going to change that into the secondary and over midfield. Miles Alexander right out to the 50-yard line with a 21-yard pickup.
And Holy Cross right back on the ball, handing the ball off again. This is what they like to do. You see what Alexander did, and he might have fumbled again at the tail end of that play. But Holy Cross is up-tempo.
Ball is loose. Raiders say they have it. Waiting for the signal. Yes, they do. Aiden Gartner, the one to recover it.
Second carry in a row for Alexander. And you can see it was number 54, Big Chuck Moore, that came in and knocked that ball out. And Gartner able to beat one of the Crusaders to the football. Man, that's 2 turnover belts there, or whatever they're calling it, in 3 plays. You know, Miami's made it so famous, the Hurricanes, that does Colgate have a name for theirs? No, Miami's is the turnover chain.
The turnover,
right?
chain.
Chain. Okay.
Was that Ed Reed, or before? I can't even remember when it started.
I don't know, but I'm going to lose track of all. Every team has one now. Every team has something that they're coming up with. Man, that's brutal. Holy Cross had something there.
Yeah, Dan Hunt said the swag of the turnover belt had actually made players forget about some of the rule changes with the uniforms. Because they felt like they've been derobed, if you will, in terms of some of the things that they're allowed to put on their arms up and down. But already a good start for Colgate, and its offense hasn't had really a ton to do with it. Reminder, for the latest Patriot League news and information, you can follow the official league account on Twitter. It's @PatriotLeague.
They're taking a look at this one, Matt, to make sure it was a fumble. Man, it seemed clear fumble, clear recovery. I'm not exactly sure what they'd be taking a second look at. Maybe they didn't know how to spot the ball.
And replay available now at 6 of the 7 Patriot League sites. Georgetown is the only place because there are stadium renovations going on. But Eric Lewis and his crew.
Wow, look at those cameras.
I mean, ball is clearly out from what we saw.
Let's see if we're missing something here. He's definitely not down yet. The ball's definitely out. It's clearly a free ball. Gartner, great job to go get it. And there we go.
Maybe they just wanted to make sure that they work.
Maybe they just wanted to make sure we get a chance to talk about it one more time and show it one more time. Make it clear to everybody.
Could be. Either way, Dan Hunt's team has a pair of turnovers to start this. Brenneman with a pair of backs. Colgate will use as many as 4. Right now, Holland and Matthews out there. You could see Malik Twyman, John Cox later. This time Matthews with room off the left side. And he gets tripped up out toward midfield. And a nice pickup on first down.
And a nice lead block by number 2, James Holland, in front of him. Coach Hunt said during the week that we would see some of that. We would see 2 tailbacks at the same time. Watch the upper left of your screen. Watch number 2, James Holland. Whap! Are you kidding me? That is what it's all about. That was against a weak side linebacker, Jack Haddon, and James Holland just lit him up.
Now on what's second down and manageable. Play fake to Holland. And got his man, does Brenneman. Owen Rocket into Holy Cross territory for a big gain.
Man, this is so tough to defend. You're seeing this more and more at every level. You see it in the NFL as well, but when the quarterback puts the ball in the belly of the running back, I don't know how you don't step up if you're a linebacker. And then so often they're going to end up throwing the slant or the skinny post behind you after you step up.
27-yard catch and run for Rocket, who defensive coordinator Scott James told us was a guy who could fly under the radar for the Raiders. This time Twyman in, play fake to him. They got Holland, one of the other backs, and into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Now they opened the game, Ross Tucker, with 4 straight runs. Colgate wants to show you they can do something else.
Yeah, well, here was the play before the touchdown play that I was talking about. You see Brenneman, he puts it in Holland's belly, and then wide open throw on the skinny post behind it because the defenders are all stepping up. Then this time, It's Brenneman's legs, and that's a dropped coverage. I mean, there's no coverage for Holy Cross where nobody's within 7 yards where James Holland catches it. By the way, he should get the touchdown after that awesome lead block on the first play.
And Puzzy dots the I on the extra point. Colgate multiple in a lot of ways. Brenneman the play fake, selling it, and Holland has been here plenty of times. Raiders an early 14-0 lead here on Stadium. Stay with us on Facebook.
Running back James Holland Jr., he's been battling some injuries these past couple years, but when I was up at Colgate just a few weeks ago before the start of the preseason, I asked Coach Hunt what he expected from James coming in to this season. He really said the sky is the limit for him. He was so excited about the way that he's progressing and been working out, and Coach Hunt even said that he thinks James is in the best shape of his life. I asked Coach Hunt what made him say that, and he said, well, probably one of the things is because he was up here all summer working out. He had an internship, but he would come into the weight room and there's actually no AC in their weight room. Today, I think, is a day that would probably feel like a typical hot summer day in Hamilton, so I can't imagine, you know, with him being in there and lifting. But we should see more from James Holland today. Fans, we want to know, who do you think the best running back is in the Patriot League, with Don Bragalone at Lehigh being that preseason Offensive Player of the Year? Use that hashtag HC versus Gate.
Morgan. Thank you very much, Morgan.
Colgate stories come find.
Yeah, James Holland. Dan Hunt had actually told me the other day he thinks he's in the same conversation as a guy like Chase Edmonds, who was a record setter at Fordham and now a fourth-round pick and going to be on the Arizona Cardinals final roster.
And contribute to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
He's got my attention. I'll tell you what, after a couple plays he's already made in this game, that block, you know, that's one of the things that they look for, because for a guy like him to make it in the next level, he'd have to really do something on special teams. You know, he'd probably be trying to be that fourth running back. He'd have to show what he could do on teams.
Back here in Hamilton, and James Holland, for good reason, is all smiles. A reminder to join the conversation, facebook.com/watchstadium, or on Instagram, use the hashtag HC versus Gate. Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker, is a 7-year NFL veteran, and Morgan Uber down on the sideline.
After the kick, we're going to do card 3. After the kick, card 3.
And so far, Colgate has set up one of its scores with a turnover. The other one, just a flat-out fumble return for touchdown for John Steffen that got things started. And we're not even fully halfway through this first quarter. Puzzy drops this one in, and a tough field for Cozier from his own 5. And won't get past, much further past the 15-yard line. Stadium is your new way to watch national sports. The only 24/7 network available on both TV and digital devices without a cable subscription. Live classic games, daily live studio, original programming. You can check your local TV listings. Go to watchstadium.com/stadium. It's a new way to watch sports. Welcome to the game. Colgate's opened up its Patriot League slate for the first time in 15 years with an opener in the league. And they've done it with a pair of turnovers and a 14-point lead. Clifford being pressured by Wheeler here on first down and dropped. TJ Hall.
He actually had pretty good protection early on, but then once he started to scramble, TJ Hall, that's called secondary contain, and TJ Hall can really run. I mean, he is impressive so far with his speed at the linebacker position.
Reminder to join the conversation. You can even go right to facebook.com/Stadium College Football. And actually did have some answers here on second down and long, as the Crusaders not able to pick up much to our best running back in the Patriot League question. Kirsten says James Holland, bar none, and go Gate. Third down at 10 coming up. Cozier slipped one and won't get by Wisniewski and Hall and the rest of the Colgate tacklers. Chuck Moore also in there. Now 6 minutes, 17 seconds left here in the first quarter. 14-0 Colgate. As the Raiders set to get the ball back, Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker, jack of all trades. Morgan Uber on the sideline. I don't know when you sleep, to be honest.
Does that mean master of none, though? Usually when you say jack of all trades, the next thing you say about the guy is master of none. I want to try to at least master one.
Fair enough. I think you have at least one or two that you've figured out over the years.
No, I appreciate it. Holy Cross gonna have to figure out something quick, or this game is gonna get away from them.
Yeah, Bob Chesney coming over from Assumption, is used to winning just about everywhere he's been. Also coached up at Salve Regina in Rhode Island, but came in with what's a 73% winning percentage to open up a new era of Holy Cross football. And had a bunch of family members up here today for the debut. Dan Hunt, of course, has been a mainstay in the Colgate program since the days of Dick Biddle. And what's his 5th season in Hamilton? Quarterfinal run a couple seasons ago. And the buzz and the hype on the Raiders this year is that they could get back. Cody Wilkinson on the punt. And good protection and good hang time. Darami Soiree from his own 18-yard line. And able to create some room on what ends up being just a 6-yard return. Benton Whitley, the backup defensive end, on the stop. Reminder, you're watching today's contest on the Patriot League Network on Stadium. Colgate with the early 2-touchdown lead.
When Holy Cross head coach Bob Chesney was hired here at Holy Cross, Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly weighed in. That's because Coach Kelly played collegiate football at Assumption College, which is where Coach Chesney just most recently came from, and he also got his coaching start there. The quote, this is what Coach Kelly had to say when Bob Chesney was hired. This is a tremendous hire for Holy Cross, its football program and entire athletic department. Bob is truly one of the bright young minds in college football. I've had the pleasure of getting to know him quite well over the last few years. Bob and members of his staff traveled to South Bend and spent time with our coaches. He has a proven plan, as evidenced by the success at my alma mater, Assumption College, of what's needed when it comes to building a program, and almost more importantly, has a keen sense of what's necessary when it comes to sustaining success. He'll do a wonderful job at Holy Cross, and it's a big night for Coach Kelly. It's the marquee college football game, Michigan taking on Notre Dame tonight. So fans watching here on Facebook with us, weigh in. Who do you think's going to win that big game today, Michigan or Notre Dame?
Hi, my name is Tiffany Holland.
I'm Zach Lanning.
I'm Megan McGeary.
My name is Ed Ryan.
And welcome to College of the Holy Cross. So when I was looking at colleges, I had a ton of questions. Like, can I play my violin and study to be a doctor?
This is where I ask, how many ways can I surprise people?
What does it mean to be on a team?
Who am I and where am I headed?
At Holy Cross.
The more I ask,
The more I learn.
Holy Cross.
Ask more.
We're back.
2-touchdown lead for Colgate. Kerr Stadium here in Hamilton, the start of the 2018 season. A couple of turnovers have set up the Raiders thus far, and after Grant Brenneman benefiting once again from his defense, he and the Raider offense get the ball back. Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker, Morgan Uber on the sideline. Before we had finished up on Facebook just there, Morgan had asked Notre Dame, Michigan. Ross Tucker, who you got?
Whew. I'm going to go Michigan. I think they're going to get it done. I know a lot of people like Notre Dame in that game, but I think Jim Harbaugh finally has a quarterback, and their defensive line with Rashawn Gary and Chase Winovich, they are loaded.
And a question on Facebook, are Jim Harbaugh and Brian Kelly coaching for their jobs this season? They're on 1st and 10 for the Raiders. And not much there. Good surge for the Holy Cross defensive line. Jake McCardle, nicknamed the Slippery Pig, is the one to make the stop. Not sure who gave him that, but former Holy Cross defensive coordinator now at Lehigh, Mike Kasherba, told us that last season.
Well, it's funny because I was talking with the secondary coach and associate head coach for Colgate, Stan DeCoste, and he said for their D-line, they need a bunch of war pigs or war daddies up front.
And that's what Holy Cross has had. 2nd down and long. Ives with his first catch of this young season. Corey Stefanik drops him, but not before 1st down yardage. Ives, known for his one-handed catches a year ago, had a couple of hashtag SC top 10s against Lehigh, and then actually up at Holy Cross as well in a blowout win.
And you look at the top of the screen, the Facebook question. I don't think either one of them is coaching for their jobs, Brian Kelly or Jim Harbaugh, unless they have an awful season this year. But if it's mediocre, I think they'll be in the warm seat going into next year.
Here on 1st and 10, and Brenneman able to hit Rocket on the sideline, wrestling with that ball with Holy Cross's best cover corner, Hicks. But the 2nd catch for Rocket and a 1st down.
Rocket's a Massachusetts kid, too. He's from Marblehead, Massachusetts. Went to St. John's Prep. So as Holy Cross tries to rebuild this program, those are the type of players you can't have leaving the state of Massachusetts.
2nd catch for what's already 46 yards for Rocket. That one went for what was 19. Play fake for Brenneman. This time hits Owen Buscalia, senior out of Chicago, who's become a favorite of this coaching staff over the years because of his work ethic, and makes it 2nd down and manageable.
One of those two has to have a nickname, because the wide receiving coach can't just keep saying, hey, Owen, and then both Rocket and Buscalia look over. I guarantee one of those two Owens has a nickname.
I think they call him Skaggs.
That makes sense. Or Rocket, maybe Rocket's a pretty cool last name to just go with Rock or Rocket.
Well, you and I both being Pennsylvania guys, Rocket Ishmael.
Yes.
About 2.5 hours down the road, down 81.
Speaking of Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, that's right. Twyman in the backfield here on 2nd and 1. Play fake to him. And there's Buscalia. Airlift. But couldn't quite come down with it. John Smith on the coverage.
Nice job there by John Smith, the corner for Holy Cross. He's in man-to-man coverage there. And sometimes guys panic when they get in that situation and they interfere. You'd like to see him get his head around and play the ball a little bit more, but he did a good job reading the eyes of Buscalia and being able to get just enough in his waist that he couldn't make the catch.
Tight ends are interchangeable for the Raiders. Nick Diaco is sometimes their 2nd one. He's the motion man right now. They converted 41% a year ago on 3rd down to the Raiders. And Holland will make sure this is a conversion. 1st down, Colgate. The drive continues.
And Vorster had him again, Matt. Vorster, number 76 for Holy Cross, got in the backfield again and had the chance to tackle Holland for a loss. He has been living in the backfield. Now, some of that is because Colgate's reading him and they're letting him come upfield. Sometimes, though, he's beating a blocker, but he's done a nice job so far here in the 1st quarter for the Crusaders.
Fresh set of downs for Brenneman. Said they barely even gave him much of the playbook last year. They dumbed things down quite a bit. Keeps it himself and picks up just a couple. Brady on the stop. And once again, are Michigan's Jim Harbaugh and Notre Dame's Brian Kelly coaching for their jobs this season. Darren says, I don't agree with Ross. Brian Kelly's in trouble.
I would say if it's a losing season, I think they're both gone. I think if Notre Dame wins at least 8 games, I think that Kelly's probably just on the hot seat going into next year. But you might be right. You never know.
Second and long. Brenneman to the sideline. And once again, Buscalia, second catch of the day.
And I'll say this, too, about the 2 head coaches in this game, Matt. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they're both coaching at the FBS level for Power 5 teams. And what Hunt's done so far here at Colgate has been really impressive, really just carrying on the tradition that Dick Biddle had laid down. And Chesney, he's just getting started, but, man, he was impressive talking to him this week. Really impressive. I wouldn't mind playing for that guy.
Twyman here on third down and cut down. This one going to be close. The South Jersey native, Kevin Bucciaroni. They call him Booch. The one to make the stop.
I feel like I could have predicted that one. Bucciaroni, Booch. Anyway, it was a heck of a play. He was unblocked off the backside, and he chased it down. Colgate's going to go. This is the faith they have in their veteran offensive line and in their quarterback, Grant Brenneman, to make the right read here.
53% a year ago. Tried 15 times, converted 8 of them.
This is called going for the kill right now, by the way.
Play clock inside at 10 for Brenneman. Holland, first push. Brenneman trying to will him with a first down signal.
He got it.
And fresh set of downs coming for Colgate.
Felt like he got a really good spot there. Because at first glance, I thought he was right at the marker. He got it by half a yard, a good half a yard.
Now Colgate's offense getting a chance to live up to what its D has done as well. Already 141 total yards for Brenneman and this crew. Twyman and Holland are your backs. And a fake to Holland. Brenneman cut down at the 11-yard line. Joe Lang makes the stop. Reminder, more college football coming your way tonight at 7:30, where SMU visits the Mean Green of North Texas. That game right here on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both TV and digital devices without a cable subscription. Chris Hassel on the call. Kristen Balboni down on the sideline in that one. And this is the one that started off our coverage. It's been an impressive start. The home crowd here in Hamilton has liked a pair of Colgate scores. The Chesney era, tough start for Holy Cross on Stadium.
We are so lucky to have Ross Tucker with us as part of this broadcast team, and we want to know what questions do you have for Ross? So with Ross having his own Ross Tucker football podcast, it's only natural that we're having our own Ask Ross segment. What do you at home, the fans, want to know from Ross Tucker? It could be anything from talking fantasy football, the NFL, what we're seeing here today between Colgate and Holy Cross, maybe your love life questions, I don't know, whatever you got for us. We are opening this up to completely anything. So Ross Tucker, you are on the hot seat.
Well,
so wait a minute, Morgan.
Your love life, I think Mrs. Tucker would have something to say about that.
Well,
there's only one.
Well, that's my question was, is she talking about my personal life?
So if the fans have questions about their love life, we want them to be able to ask you, like, you're the love guru sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll get them straight, Morgan. Yeah, if you have questions like that, I can definitely give advice. And by the way, anybody that follows me on social media will know that it's very important, Morgan. They had unbelievable baked ziti and sausage up here in the press box for the food.
I did have a little bite of that. It was pretty good. I have my first Ask Ross question, though. The first one's going to come from me. So I read on Wikipedia, not the most trustworthy source I know, but Ross, where did you have your first start with Princeton? Because it says on Wikipedia it came here in Hamilton, New York against Colgate.
That is exactly correct, Morgan.
All right.
I like it.
Okay.
Wikipedia coming through. It was 1997. Oh, look at that. So that was
Look at that picture.
right there was my sophomore year.
Look at that
when
neck
they switched
roll.
me to offensive line. But my freshman year, I played D-end. Started here
Well,
at D-end.
we'll keep the Ask Ross going all throughout the game. Send in your questions to us, guys.
2, 1, and we're back.
Well, just wrapped up a brief session of Ask Ross on Facebook, facebook.com/Stadium College Football to chime in.
I like this. I like being able to interact with the viewers while the game's going on. Keep hitting us up on Facebook. Any question you have for me, any question about the game, any question about Colgate and Grant Brenneman and the role they're about to go on.
Got one for you. Heather chimes in. It says, how do you feel about UCF this year? No more Scott Frost.
No more Scott Frost, but they still have a lot of talent, including Milton McKenzie, who got off to a real good start the other night against
Mackenzie
UConn.
Milton.
Mackenzie Milton. What did I say? Milton McKenzie?
I mean, it sounds, yeah.
Hey, look, if
they're
you have
interchangeable.
two first names, yeah. Look, my name's Ross Tucker. I could easily be Tucker Ross.
Red zone trip for Colgate to start the second quarter. Holland with a decent burst to the hole and dropped by Jack Haddon, the senior out of Scottsdale. He's part of a linebacking core that lost one of the best in the Patriot League last year in Nick Macbeth. But they do still have Brady. And what is a sound defensive line up there in Worcester. And one of the Steffen family members checking in on Facebook, Pete Steffen, from all the way down in Curacao, where I'm assuming it's a little hotter than it is up here in Hamilton. Third down, it's short. Brenneman with Capsis on the rush. And an easy toss. Rockets' third catch and a touchdown.
Here's a replay. High end zone.
Such an advantage to have a smart, mobile quarterback. Brenneman knows where to step up. He sees the void in the defense. When he steps up like that, he ultimately takes a shot there from Corey Stefanik, but Stefanik had to vacate his zone to step up. Watch, you'll see number 4 step up, and then Brenneman just throws it right over his head. That's where Stefanik was and was supposed to be. But he was put in a bind by Brenneman's mobility. Again.
Chris Puzzy on for the extra point. By the way, Pete Steffen has checked in on Facebook. Says it is, in fact, a lot hotter in Curacao. I just looked. It's 86 degrees with 68% humidity on in Willemstad, which is a popular cruise stop.
Grab card 3. Grab card 3.
Puzzy now 3 for 3 on extra points.
What's that? Do it here.
Stadium is your new way to watch national sports. It's the only 24/7 network available on both TV and digital devices without a cable subscription. Live and classic games, daily live studio shows, and original programming. You can check your local TV listings or go to watchstadium.com. Stadium, a new way to watch sports. Welcome to the game. Well, welcome to the 2018 season to the Raider and Crusader fans. Dan Hunt with just about everybody back, getting to be almost final cut-down announcement time in the NFL, Ross Tucker. So by the time this one's done, folks here in Hamilton will know whether or not their All-American defensive end from a year ago, Pat Afriye, ends up making the San Diego Chargers roster.
Yeah, to this day, Matt, is probably some of the top 10 best and worst days of my life. You know, the first time I made it with the Redskins in 01, that was an all-timer, but then, whew, like in 06 when I got cut by the Browns, that was rough. Very, very emotional day for a lot of young men today.
Yeah, it certainly is, and best wishes to Pat Afriye and his family. Jimmy Murray as well on the Holy Cross side of things. Played center, also played some guard for them a year ago as this went out of the end zone.
Yeah, he even played some left tackle here at Holy Cross, and now he's playing center for the Chiefs, and he's done a lot of good things.
And played with a good quarterback who has since graduated. Peter Pujols was in Minnesota Vikings camp, but did not make the final cut. Was one of 4 quarterbacks that they had up there under Mike Zimmer. Emmett Clifford does have some time here in Hamilton before. Here on first down, Alexander across the 30-yard line. And he picks up 6 to make it second and manageable. Colgate piling up over 150 yards of total offense. Alexander trying to do his part on second down. And a Holy Cross first down.
You know, this is a young offensive line, Matt, but they feel good about it. Talking with offensive line coach Chris Smith before the game, and of course, just as I start to praise them, there's going to be a pre-snap penalty on the left guard. Take a look at this hole. It's just a power scheme, which everybody on the right side blocks down. The left guard pulls around and kicks out. And they've done a nice job, especially when Miles Alexander has been in there, of opening up some holes. If I'm Holy Cross, I'm leaning heavily on the offensive line and Alexander. They've had some success with it.
And this time trying the left side. Had to go horizontal a long way to get not a whole lot. Jacob Asarco and TJ Hall in there on the stop.
TJ Hall is everywhere.
He certainly is the vocal leader of this defense, as Alexander has now had what is 5 different touches. But after the false start penalty, still second down and long. Clifford on the rollout. There's Bell, first catch of the season. And the first throw for Clifford of the day puts them in Colgate territory.
And it really started with good protection, Matt, from that offensive line that we were just talking about. Colgate elected to only rush 3, and if they do that and you're Holy Cross, you've got to make them pay, because Clifford should have enough time for a guy like Bell to uncover if they're only going to rush 3.
Freshman Peter Oliver is the new running back for Holy Cross. They set up Dorsey, trying to get that tunnel screen over there, but not a whole lot of a tunnel there.
Well, they're trying to do whatever they can. That's an extension of the running game, trying to put the Red Raider defenders in a, the Raider defenders, I should say, in a bind out there.
This time they fake it, telegraph the pass, and nearly intercepted by Wisniewski, who led the team in that category with 3 of them last year.
Clifford kind of hitched. By the time he tried to come back to Bell, Wisniewski had established better position and was very close to picking that off.
And Wisniewski from the greater Binghamton area, Newark Valley, New York. And one of the quad captains for Colgate. It's always an interesting process under Dan Hunt, something that they've instituted in the last 2 years. Morgan Uber will tell you a little bit more about that in just a few moments. And of course, Facebook Live, facebook.com/Stadium College Football to hear more about that. Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker, and Morgan down on the sideline. Here on third down, Clifford and Cozier trying to shake one, and great pursuit from the backup linebacker, Nick Alvarez.
Run to the football. It's something the defensive coaches preach, and you see all the Raiders over there, and their job was to make him go back inside to where the rest of their buddies were coming, the cavalry, if you will. It's a really nice job in the open field. That's not easy to do.
Bob Chesney's Crusaders now 0 for 3 on what's third down. Cody Wilkinson. And Darami Soiree won't even get a chance to touch this one. It's down at the 19-yard line, 24-yard punt for Wilkinson. As Holy Cross in what is a big hole. First time Colgate's had a Patriot League opener week 1 in 15 years. Raiders showing out for the home crowd on Stadium.
You're watching Holy Cross versus Colgate on Facebook, and last year the Colgate Raiders, they started a pretty unique process to name their captains. Colgate head coach Dan Hunt was trying to avoid naming players a captain that necessarily didn't want to take on the responsibility. So they created an application. This way, the guys that were interested would be the only ones to apply. Last year, it was such a great success. They decided to do it again this year. There were 11 players that applied for the position, and on that 2018 application, it listed job responsibilities, titles, such as being a vocal leader, always being a leader in the Colgate community, being a role model at all times. And I asked Coach Hunt, what was the biggest difference from year 1 to year 2 that he saw with those applications? And he said, well, first of all, the guys did a much better job at selling themselves, because we brought in some alumni to coach them on job preparation and interview techniques, so that when it came time that they had to give their speeches, they did a much better job. He also said he selfishly waited a little bit longer in year 2 because the leadership was so strong from in the locker room and also out on the field. The 4 captains named this year: offensive line, Max Hartman; defensive back, Alex Wisniewski. They were both named for the 2nd year in a row. Linebacker TJ Hull and Thomas Ives were also voted as captains this year. Continue sending us those Facebook comments using the hashtag HCVersusGate. We want to know what questions you have for Ross Tucker. We started the Ask Ross segment. Haven't gotten any questions quite yet.
Oh, come on.
Well, we had Central Florida. We had UCF.
Open it up to Love Life? Come on.
4, 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
Just a couple minutes into the second quarter. Opening weekend here in Hamilton. What's one of 6 Patriot League games, at least 6 games involving Patriot League schools. Our game of the week, though, the only one involving a head-to-head league matchup. Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker. Focus is the same for both sides, but slipping up means you really only have a little bit of a margin for error the rest of the year in terms of your league schedule.
Yeah, you really might not have any, right? I mean, as soon as you lose one league game, you no longer control your own fate or destiny or whatever people say, and then other people get upset because they say you can't really control your own fate or destiny. But you know what I mean. You no longer have the control in your hands.
Once again, hashtag HCVersusGate on Facebook as Holland gets this Colgate possession started. And with a nice gain on first down.
He's fun to watch.
Ryan Brady on the stop for Holy Cross.
I mean, he is really fun to watch. One of several players for the Raiders that have their 5th year of eligibility because they got injured earlier in their careers. So those guys all sat out the spring semester of school and did internships to prepare for life after football, which is awesome.
And something that's a staple up here in Hamilton and in the Patriot League. Brenneman going down. First big pressure of the day, Corey Stefanik. The senior from Franklin Lakes up in northern New Jersey.
Pressure came off the backside, and Stefanik was able to beat Wolford inside. There was a lot of space there. Stefanik's only about 205. Wolford's over 300 pounds. And there was just too much space, too much area for Wolford to be able to slide and cover up Stefanik.
Former Raider Grant Siegel checks in on Facebook. It says Max Hartzman will be all Patriot League first team. Preseason league selection. And one of what is 6 seniors on the starting offense.
Colgate's going to call timeout here.
Yeah, second one for the Raiders so far this half.
The one thing you definitely don't want to do here is turn the football over. You're up 21-0. You really don't want to give the Crusaders any life here if you're Colgate. And I think Brenneman thought about trying to get rid of that ball, but did not want to take the chance of turning it over. Sometimes a sack is the right decision for a quarterback.
Yeah, Grant Brenneman, an advanced football mind, in talking to Chris Young. So that, no doubt, the right decision.
They said the first time he got a chance to play against Richmond, he knew he might play a series or two, and like during the week on Tuesday or Wednesday, he asked Coach, hey, Coach, so where can we kick a field goal from? And the coach said, Coach Hunt said, probably about the 50-yard line.
Yeah,
Fourth quarter.
50 yards.
Yeah, 50 yards. Yeah, 50-yard field goal. So They get to the Richmond game, 2 minutes left in the game. Grant Brenneman goes up to Coach Hunt and says, 33-yard line, right?
Yeah, and it was so nonchalant that Dan Hunt almost said, wait, what? Yeah, that's right. 33-yard line. That's about where they feel comfortable with Chris Puzzy. And so the Brenneman era at quarterback was born. Here on 3rd down and 10, and this time good coverage by the Crusaders secondary. Chris Riley in there, the junior free safety out of Naples down in Florida, who had missed most of last year with an injury. And Bob Chesney likes that.
Excellent coverage by Holy Cross. There was nowhere for Brenneman to go, and he made the right decision. I think arguably back-to-back plays, Brenneman made the right decision. One's a sack and one's throwing the football away, but there was nothing there.
Josh Serra hasn't had to punt since Colgate's first possession of the game. And decent field position coming for the Crusaders up to the 45-yard line. Just the 36-yard boot this time around for Serra. And Holy Cross coming off of that possession, maybe with a little bit of momentum. Colgate defense coming back on the field, but up 21.
So we have some Facebook trivia today, some Patriot League trivia, and if you've been listening to any of this broadcast, it might actually be pretty easy. So we want to know if you can guess, when was the last time the Colgate Raiders opened up against a league opponent? In the next commercial break, in the next break, we'll be telling you that answer as well as a fun story with that. So fans on Facebook, when was the last time the Colgate Raiders opened up against a league opponent? It's not too hard to figure out.
We need the Jeopardy music.
Yeah. Well, it was 2003, right?
Yeah, 2003 when they made their run to the FCS national title game.
It's crazy talking to Coach too, Morgan, because he said they should have lost the game. Georgetown fumbled, taking a knee. They should have lost that game. Instead, they won, and then they won 14 more games all the way to the national championship game.
He even said coming off of 2002, it was very similar to how things ended in 17, because they had a great win streak in 02 to end that season, and then they actually were co-champions but missed the playoffs because of that tiebreaker, exactly like last year, co-champions of the Patriot League in 2017, but because of that loss to Lehigh, Lehigh ends up going on to that FCS playoffs game. So we'll let you know in the next commercial break when that year was, as well as the story.
In the Patriot League, our playbooks look a little different. Here, we play to win on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. A competitive athletic experience with high academic standards. Today's scholar athlete, tomorrow's leaders. That's the Patriot League.
And we're back.
And it's a warm Saturday afternoon to start off the month of September here in Hamilton. Home fans have been treated to what's a 21-0 lead. Almost midway through the second quarter. Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker, Morgan Uber down on the sideline. But maybe some momentum for Holy Cross. Emmett Clifford and the Crusaders getting the ball back after a big defensive stand. And Alexander, you can see him clinging tightly to that football. It gets popped. Nick Iannelli and Trevor Thompson, 2/3 of that linebacking core, able to combine. This time Clifford trying to get the edge and able to slip inside. And able to get just past Tyler Castillo, pick up a couple more.
They really want to go fast. And you can see Holy Cross is right back on the football. They're playing a lot of young guys up front. Nick Osafka, the freshman from Louisville, is in at center right now. Their offensive line coach, Chris Smith, told me he would rotate Osafka through a little bit. Likes to play some guys up front. Likes to rotate them through.
Yeah, they rotate by series. That's how they do it. 3rd and short. Alexander pushing the pile. And just the 4th first down of this first half for Holy Cross.
Just a little inside zone scheme blocking up front. But they fake the motion behind with the ghost motion, as they call it, and that forces the linebackers to wait. If you see more and more of these receivers coming in motion behind the quarterback, It's just to make those linebackers and safeties wait just a second.
Cozier, this one going nowhere. Ionelli, the first man to him, and then Caleb Fell finishing him off. Philadelphia area kid out of Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
Colgate really is loaded with Eastern PA guys and Pennsylvania guys in general. Stan DeCosti, their recruiting coordinator, does an excellent job. Ionelli right there is another PA guy. He's from Elwood City, Lincoln High School.
Yeah, another Pittsburgh area guy. Both he and TJ Hall. Here on second down and long, taking a shot, and right there to the active leader in interceptions. It's Tyler Castillo for the Raiders.
He was tied for the active leadership in interceptions among Patriot League defenders. He's probably first now. Clifford just gets a little bit greedy, overthrows his intended receiver, and Castillo basically playing center field back there as a corner. He's the field corner, which is usually more of a zone corner, playing off coverage like that, being able to see things develop, and he's a tremendous player. You know, he's gotten banged up at times just because of the way he plays. He loves to hit people, even though he's only a $175. But he's also made a bunch of plays on the ball throughout his career and gets the championship belt. What are we calling the belt, Matt? Do we have a name for the belt?
The turnover belt.
Oh,
turnover
belt. All right.
Third time Holy Cross has given it away. First and 10 from their own 38, and nearly gave it right back. Hadn't got the deflection. And second down and long coming. Penalty flag down.
Brenneman trying to throw the ball over the middle, had a nice job reading his eyes, just gets his right hand on it as the ball was going for Buscalia.
Referee Eric Lewis. Honestly, for an opening game, Ross Tucker, it's been pretty clean, penalty-wise.
Dude, you know never to say that. You just jinxed us. You just jinxed everybody watching on Stadium and on Facebook. That's like a rule as a broadcaster. You never say there hasn't been that many penalties. But you're right, there hasn't been that many.
First down and long after the holds, and popped. There's Joe Lang coming up to waffle Malik Twyman. Did not have any negative yardage a year ago. Twyman, that'll be the first one of his career.
That was incredible. One of my favorite plays of the game so far. Joe Lang, the sophomore DB from Naples, Florida, comes flying through the alley. That was a picture-perfect wrap-up tackle. It is not easy to tackle a guy like Twyman at all, let alone knock him backwards like that. That was awesome.
Joe Lang, another Naples, Florida guy. He and Chris Riley in that secondary. Twyman, though, going right back for positive yardage.
Let's take another look, Matt, at the hit. Watch the right side of your screen, number 23. He's crouched down, acts like he's going, and he comes back. He's unblocked. Whap! Right through the thigh board of Twyman. That was awesome. That's exactly how you teach it.
Third down at 15 as a result. Lang, all of only 2 tackles this season ago. But when you graduate as many players as the Crusaders did, going to have some guys filling holes. Brenneman, nice timing. And Rocket dotting the I on the sideline. 4th catch of the day to go with a touchdown. Now stay connected with the Patriot League, its member schools and student athletes through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. League all over social media.
Such a great league, isn't it? I mean, the chance to go to academic institutions like this on a full scholarship or a partial scholarship for these young men, it's incredible. You get to play Division I football. You play some big-time opponents. You have a chance to go to the FCS playoffs, and you get a great education.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that. Twyman on first down, twisting and turning his way through. Damian Baker finally wraps him up. And a reminder of our trivia question on Facebook. When was the last time Colgate opened their season with a league opponent? Ross Tucker may have actually given us the answer before, but if you're tuning in late, you can chime in again.
We're just trying to see if you guys are paying attention when I gave you the answer.
Exactly.
I didn't know I was supposed to wait. Was I supposed to wait earlier?
I think.
Got it.
We were never really given an indication.
I didn't get the memo. I felt so cool about having the right answer.
As long as you finished up your TPS reports, Tucker. Second down at 4. And Bucciaroni dropping Malik Twyman, second tackle of the day.
Tell you what, Holy Cross is playing very hard. You know, they're down 21-0, but the last couple series, they've really been getting the better of the action, especially up front.
And suggestions on Facebook. Josh checks in and says maybe time for a quarterback change for the Crusaders. The next time they get the ball back. See if Bob Chesney does go with Jeff Wade. Third down at 3. Brenneman selling the fake in the belly of Holland in the first down.
These are lightning quick reads he's making. That time he is reading the defensive tackle and he's seeing the hips of that D tackle. If he turns his hips like he's going to try to take the running back, Brenneman's going to pull the ball and go around the other side because he knows that guy's not going to be able to get back and change directions to make the tackle on him. He's not fast, but he's quick and he's smart and he's effective when he does pull the ball and run it.
Now they go 2 backs again, Holland and Twyman. Holland with nice yardage on first down.
So take a look at the left side of your screen, okay? You'll watch Brenneman's eyes as he gets the ball. He's looking at the defensive lineman to the left and seeing as soon as he sees that hip go down and close, he's going. Because he knows Wolford, the left tackle, has the defensive end. That's the beauty of getting your quarterback involved in the run game and all these different options that Brenneman has. You really can't be right. I mean, if that defensive tackle stayed and was going to get Brenneman, he would have given the ball to Holland, who would have had that backside A-gap between the guard and the center open.
Roll out for Brenneman. He knows where the sticks are. Another first down for Colgate. This time ends up getting 7 yards.
I'll tell you what else is impressive too, Matt. You know, talking with Scott James, the defensive coordinator for Holy Cross, he said, you know, I know that they're not looking at the sideline for checks, but I know they're making checks. You know, now in college football all the time, the whole offense looks over to the sideline and the coach makes the read. For Colgate, even though he's only a true sophomore, Grant Brenneman is the one making those checks and those reads pre-snap.
Yeah, a year ago they had said they had only scratched the surface of what they could do with him. And his feet have gotten better. They told us that as well. Out of bounds, run out by Chris Riley here on first down.
I mean, I'm getting tired just watching him, though, at this point. I mean, run all the way to the right, run all the way to the left. He's put together pretty well. I talked to him before the game. He's a Harrisburg native, which is where I live now in central Pennsylvania. In fact, I know his dad and brother a little bit. But he was telling me the other school he almost went to was Army. It really came down to Army and Colgate for him. I said, well, there you would have been even running even more.
Kirsten checks in on Facebook, says, way to go, Grant. He's awesome. Led Colgate in part to 7 wins this season ago. What was a slow start for the Raiders in the beginning, thanks to a tough schedule. And this time again, taking it himself. And Alex Johnson makes him eat the turf a little bit. Check that Macklin quarterback.
I like the fact that how often he gets out of bounds, how often he slides when he realizes there really isn't any more yards to gain. You know, this isn't high school football anymore, and they need him for 11-plus games this year. With the designs they have, there's no reason to take unnecessary shots. That's part of being smart at that position.
Well, there's a couple of PA guys. He probably could have taught Michael Vick a thing or two about sliding toward the tail end of his career. 3rd and short. Haddon on the stop on Holland.
Decision time again for Colgate and Coach Dan Hunt.
You have plenty of confidence in your offense, but also in your kicker, Chris Puzzy, who hit 75% of his attempts a year ago with a long of 40.
They're going to let the play clock come down here and then call timeout, which would lead you to believe that they're going to kick the field goal. I think if they were still trying to go for it here and score a touchdown, I don't think they'd let the clock come all the way down.
And they call it just before it expires. And that'll actually do it for the rest of their timeouts. 34 seconds left here in the second quarter. Colgate and his young quarterback once again driving, trying to put up some more points on Stadium. First down, trying to set up DeNicola, quickly dropped. From walk-on to starter, the Yardley, PA, Philadelphia area native, Dylan DeJulius.
He's been doing this the last couple years. Such a heady, smart player. Got overshadowed at St. Joe's Prep. I remember calling him making plays in the state championship game 4 years ago. Got overshadowed by guys like John Reed, who's at Penn State, John Runyon at Michigan, but DeJulius is one of many St. Joe's Prep guys that can really play.
False start of the Crusaders. And Dylan DeJulius didn't really have any offers coming out of school, coming out of the prep. And ended up coming up here as a walk-on. Paul Schaffner, who you just saw, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders, called him a real true-life success story yesterday at their walkthrough. Boulder was the one to jump. Clifford twisting and turning his way, trying to get back the yardage they lost on the penalty. Third down and long upcoming.
Man, when you've got an offense like Holy Cross does right now, that's really the running game is the best thing they've got going. Any lost yardage plays, any penalties, just kill you. Because now you find yourself in third and real long, and this is exactly the position they don't want to be in. Let's see if Colgate brings the pressure to try to get the ball out of Clifford's hands early, or if they just rush three.
Reminder, hashtag HC versus Gate on Facebook. Ask Ross Tucker anything. Third down at 13. Clifford, heads up play to dump that off to Cozier, but run out of bounds. Hall in the vicinity, Nick Wheeler, Aiden Gartner.
Clifford's got some playmaking to him. You know, he definitely has a good feel for it. To have the presence of mind to shovel that ball there and get extra yards. But again, the lost yardage play from the open field tackle by DeJulius and the penalty is what cost them a chance to keep the chains moving.
And his first career start punctuated by 1 of 7 on third down for the Crusaders. Wilkinson has had good hang time on his kicks.
Oh.
Darami Soiree gets popped. Does the ball come loose? Crusaders say it's out. Kevin Bucciaroni and Wilkinson signaling. Ryan Brady also says they have it, still waiting for the signal.
Look at the enthusiasm from the Holy Cross kids.
Yes, they do. Corey Stefanik off the pile.
These Holy Cross kids have some zest to them, don't they? Watch this. Couple spin moves, gets hit there, spins around. That's where the ball comes out. A real nice lick by Terrell Prince. You'll see boom, and then Prince comes in, and that's where the ball comes out. And then it's just a mad pile in there. Somehow Stefanik, I think number 4, might have come away with it. It is not fun to be at the bottom of those piles.
No, I'm
for a lot of different reasons.
Strange and unholy things happen.
Well, let's see if Holy Cross can get something going now. Wow.
Well, best starting field position of the game for the Crusaders.
Darami Soiree was like a pinball there.
By the way, Kayla checking in on Facebook, hashtag again, HC versus Gate. Wants to know, Ross, any NFL prospects on the field as you see them for this game?
Yeah, I think there's some guys playing today that might get a chance to get a look. I think there's a chance James Holland gets a look. We're talking about some of the seniors especially. Certainly Nick Wheeler with the production he's had in a year from now. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get that opportunity.
Yeah, it's a league that certainly has sent plenty. Headlined this season by Chase Edmonds.
Another Harrisburg guy, by the way.
That's right.
Central Dauphin East High School.
Movement before they could get the ball to Alexander here. And another Holy Cross penalty. Yeah, a little trash talk going on. Chuck Mullen, class of '78, and obviously played for the Crusaders. Holy Cross man watching from Houston. Different outcome on that field 40 years ago. And then I think Corey Hill told him to let it go.
That means he's either in his late 50s or early 60s, and he's talking trash on Facebook, which means I love that dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would have played with you anytime, man, talking trash on Facebook about a game 40 years ago.
Second down and long, and Clifford nowhere to go on the exchange to Alexander, who gets dropped.
Well, if you remember, what was it, 31 years ago? Holy Cross, Gordy Lochbaum.
Actually assisted, by the way, in their coaching search. Helped athletic director Nathan Pine to find Bob Chesney, who was the last guy to interview for the job back in December. Here on 3rd and 13, Clifford.
He's close.
And right near first down yardage. Looks like he's got it.
He's got it.
Yes, he does.
A stunt up front, picked up well again by the Holy Cross offensive line. Clifford, he's a little void. He gets a nice block from Bell on Wisniewski down the field. Otherwise, Wisniewski was going to come in to try to lower the boom again.
First and 10, and one of the first carries of his collegiate career for Peter Oliver. He was an Auburn, Massachusetts native, and somebody that they're very high on. Bob Chesney had said he would be right in the mix at the running back spot this year.
See Nick Wheeler tapping his helmet there. That's the universal signal for I'm tired.
Back to Oliver, who runs right into a wall.
Wow, they had
personified by TJ Hall.
They had that, though. If they got a block from the freshman, watch number 57 coming around. If he makes this block right there, what a job. Is that Deulius? Or Hall? Deulius, I
Deulius.
think.
And then Hall comes in at the end.
Yeah, what a great job evading Olsafka. But if you're the running back in that instance, Oliver, you need to set up your lineman a little bit better there, because you allowed Deulius to really set him up by ducking inside, forcing the read for the running back, then bouncing back outside. That should have been a touchdown. That was extremely well blocked other than that.
John wants to know, Ross, the major differences between FBS and FCS talent, skill positions as well as line.
Well, it's usually just a little bit, and I would say not as much as people think. I mean, if you're talking about the Power 5 guys, there's a little bit more of a widespread disparity in terms of natural talent, but then part of it's development. You know, part of it is just that the FBS guys already looked like FBS players when they were sophomores in high school, and it takes a little bit more time at times for the FCS guys.
6 minutes left. Colgate up big.
Corey coordinator, Paul Schaffner, has been here since 2013, and they grew up 20 miles down the road in a town called Casanova. He has a son, Jake. Jake decided to come to Colgate. He's now a junior linebacker for this Colgate football team, and it's been a really special story for this father-son duo. Coach Schaffner was actually diagnosed with throat cancer in 2015, and that was one of the main reasons that Jake decided to come to Colgate. It was very important for him to be close to his family, close to his father, and he used to write on his wristbands, "Play for Dad," in high school. I found out from some of the Colgate University student athletes, he was actually the king of Cas. He was a quarterback at the Casanova High School. But I'm happy to say that Coach Schaffner is now in remission. He said it's been a marathon run. He still goes in for checkups periodically, but his cancer is in remission. I also talked to Coach Schaffner about what it's like coaching a son. He said, man, I feel bad for coaches' sons. They have it the worst because they can never do anything right. I'm always telling him what he's doing wrong when he's walking off the field. But all in all, Coach Schaffner said it's been really special for them to share these years together, and he wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, Morgan, Paul Schaffner.
In the Patriot League, our playbooks look a little different. Here, we play to win on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. A competitive athletic experience with high academic standards. Today's scholar athlete, tomorrow's leaders. That's the Patriot League.
Just over 6 minutes left in the third quarter. For those of you watching over the air, you can certainly join the conversation on Facebook as well. Shot to the end zone for Holy Cross. Bell trying to come up with that. Nearly sold it, but the ball was on the turf.
Just a fade ball in the corner of the end zone to their big receiver, and Castillo gets his left arm up there but doesn't interfere. Castillo's a heck of a player. I mean, only 5'10", 175 pounds, but he plays bigger than that.
And what's apparently not that difficult a decision. Bob Chesney just elected to go with points. Derek Ing, the freshman kicker from Las Vegas, has the first points of this young season for Holy Cross. Our new fall lineup debuts on September 4th, where Stadium starts the day at 10 Eastern with a new morning show called The Territory, where we take you through the biggest stories in sports across the country. Sauce and Schramm moving up 3 hours and will air at noon, followed by a new high school show, Emerge, at 2 p.m. Then Campus Insiders back half an hour to 2:30 Eastern. And then we wrap up the day, setting you up for the night in sports with The Rally, Game Time in America at 6 o'clock. All of it kicks off on September 4th. And more Facebook interaction, hashtag HC versus Gate, facebook.com/Watch Stadium. Our Ask Roz format here. And what's your favorite facility, says Wes, to visit in the Patriot League?
So are we talking campus or stadium or the team's like football practice facility?
Well, we're not going to wait for him to answer. Why don't you just give us both?
Well, so if we're going campus, I got to say Bucknell, because that's where my wife went to school and that's where we met. I went there for their house party weekend back in 2001. You should have been there, Matt. It was excellent.
It was a good time,
It was excellent. And I met her there. So I would say that in terms of football facility, man, Lafayette is incredible. I can remember when Lafayette put it in. That was really, really incredible. In terms of the stadium, I really like Holy Cross's stadium.
I'm not on cam, but
Wilkinson with the kickoff, and I'm sure Morgan has an opinion on this as well as this goes out of bounds.
right, I've traveled traveled to all the Patriot League schools, and I'm not going to pick one, but in this next commercial break on Facebook, since we don't have any commercials, we are going to hear from our student correspondent, Tegan Graham. She's helped us throughout the week come up with some good story ideas. She showed me around campus yesterday some of the spots that I wasn't familiar with. She's on the women's basketball team from New Zealand, all the way from New Zealand, came to Hamilton, New York to play basketball. So what is your favorite part of Hamilton and Colgate in general, Tegan?
It's probably got to be the court. I mean, I'm here to play basketball, so yeah, I love being out with the girls, being with my team, the locker room. Home's always nice, going, you know, relaxing, going to bed. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun to be with the girls and be with my team.
You'll hear more from Tegan. You'll have an opportunity for her to tell you why Colgate is the best campus in the Patriot League here coming up on Facebook. So tune in on Watch Facebook for that exclusive interview with Tegan Graham.
Thank you, Morgan. A rise from the Holy Cross crowd. Jake McCardle with the surge to drop James Holland.
Yeah, and the second time, Joe Lang has come up and lowered the boom. Joe Lang is quickly becoming one of my favorite players for Holy Cross, because that's the second time he came up and just had a picture-perfect tackle.
And excuse me, yeah, it was Lang. Seeing multiple jersey numbers that end in 3, Ross Tucker. Movement on second down and 10.
False start. 80 offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Movement from Nick Diaco. Chuck Mullen, Holy Cross class of 78, former Crusader gridiron. Says, yeah, let's go, Ross. Suit up, get out there.
By the way, I will say for our Facebook student correspondent, I've been to New Zealand, Queenstown. That's like the most beautiful place I've ever been. Incredible.
Ooh! And Stefanik with the hit of the day. Unabated to Brenneman.
Completely unblocked off the left side. It's an overload blitz that has to be accounted for in some way. So Brenneman either thought he was protected or he was mistaken. They brought both the Mike linebacker and the strong side linebacker, Stefanik, from that side. The DN pinched in. The left tackle, Wolford, took him. Holland was there to pick up Brady, but nobody had Stefanik. That's how you get your quarterback hurt. That's dangerous.
Third down at 24. And Brenneman just going to have to unload this. Well, in the last few minutes of this third quarter, have suddenly belonged to the Crusaders.
Holy Cross has come to play. Is there a flag? I don't see one.
Dan Hunt upset about something.
Illegal forward pass. 15 offense. Spot foul. Loss of down. Correction, 5-yard penalty. Loss of down. Fourth down.
It's weird the vibe here right now. I mean, one team is up 24-0, and it feels like the Holy Cross sideline has more energy, more spunk, and is more excited about the way they're playing here in the second half. Colgate kind of seems like they're going through the motions right now.
Yeah, Holy Cross defense has certainly showed up. Just need the offense to actually be able to move the football. DiNicola from his own 44. And again, the upfield pursuit. Diulius started it. Gartner finished it. Bob Chesney, son of a former high school coach up there in the coal region, Pennsylvania. His team down 3 scores, but good field position coming up on Stadium.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Holland.
I'm Zach Lanning.
I'm Megan McGeary.
My name is Ed Ryan.
And welcome to College of the Holy Cross. So when I was looking at colleges, I had a ton of questions. Like, can I play my violin and study to be a doctor?
This is where I ask, how many ways can I surprise people?
What does it mean to be on a team?
who am I and where am I headed?
At Holy Cross.
The more I ask,
The more I learn.
Holy Cross.
Ask more.
We've had some really good comments and fan interactions on Facebook. Thank you, all of us, for tuning in. Continue with those comments, any questions you have for Ross Tucker. But also, I want to know, where are you guys watching from? We had a guy comment that he was watching from Naples, Florida. That's the farthest away I've seen. So where are you fans watching from? Let us know.
And we're back.
Back in Hamilton, late here in the third quarter. Alec Wisniewski and the rest of this Colgate defense set to go back on the field after Holy Cross building a little bit of momentum. Haven't necessarily moved the ball a ton, 151 yards of total offense, and have had a tough day on what's third down. They're just 2 for 9. But see if Emmett Clifford and the Crusaders can in fact flip the script. Hashtag HC versus Gate on Facebook. Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker, Morgan Uber.
Wow.
Clifford trying to sell the fake, and Nick Alvarez jumping all over it.
That is really good, disciplined football by Colgate defensively, because Nick Wheeler totally destroyed the running back. Clifford had to pull the ball, but Alvarez was exactly where he was supposed to be. You know, this is all basically option football. All these reads, all these zone reads. It's not just the end man anymore. They do it with some of the interior defenders, but it's just a different form of option football, which is all about discipline defensively.
Second down at 17, and that off of the chest of Alexander, and incomplete. Third down and long. Well, where are you watching from? Larry in Medford, Oregon. Russell in Melbourne, Australia. Darren in Las Vegas. And Kirsten is out there in Austin. Jeff in the truck is out there as well. Jay Ryan, who is related to Dan Ryan, Colgate's number 86.
Scranton Prep.
That's right. Third down and long. Clifford with maybe his best decision of the day on the rollout. DiNicola. A first down for the Crusaders.
Clifford's nifty. He's got good feet, squares his shoulders. And again, his ability to run put the threat on Wisniewski, who had to step up, and he could throw the ball to DiNicola behind him. And Holy Cross is in Colgate territory again.
And the McCauley family, Jack McCauley's relatives. The backup center for the Crusaders, watching from Long Beach Island as Holy Cross starts a fresh set of downs.
Oh, that sounds nice right about now. Dude, you could be on the beach at LBI watching this game on your laptop.
With a hotspot.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say hotspot and a cold beverage? Hotspot, cold beverage on the beach?
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Second down and 8. Alexander right to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. Abdul Kiate.
He's going to be a
defensive
stud.
lineman. Yeah, on the stop.
I mean, look at that guy.
Look at that body,
Talking with some of the Colgate coaches, they said, we're glad we have him to be opposite Wheeler.
Solid 6'3", 250.
Yeah, if they all focus on Wheeler, Abdul on the other side is going to make some plays.
And Derek Ing's sister, Lindsay, checks in. As this incomplete for Clifford on 3rd down. Lindsay watching from Palo Alto, California. But Emmett Clifford struggling so far in the first career start for what's the Holy Cross Junior. Dan Hunt, Paul Schafter's defense everywhere today.
Feels like Holy Cross has had the ball the whole second half.
Yeah, they certainly have controlled it. Ing this time on the punt. And Durrami Soiree down at the 9-yard line, so what's a 32-yard boot. Patriot League merchandise and championship apparel is available at PatriotLeagueStore.com. You can log on today to get the gear you need to support your favorite Patriot League school. Well, and Derek Ing on that last punt. His sister Lindsay out in Palo Alto, a former soccer player at Iowa State. So former Cyclone. Welcome Lindsay and to everybody watching out there. Ryan Venna, Fat Louis in Deptford. That's where the former 3-time league MVP is watching from.
He was 3-time league MVP.
He was.
Wow.
First and 10 from their own 10, and Holland dropped. I've known Ryan a little while, so I could say this. 3-time MVP, he would tell you about it. Right, Venna? Don Uber watching from down there in Dallas, Texas. Hello, Don.
Well, since I'm calling the game, I'm not going to write it on Facebook, but look up the score of that 97 Princeton-Colgate game, Ryan. From Fat Louis, if you can.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a good memory.
By the way, final from South Bethlehem. Lehigh has opened up with a victory, 21-19 over St. Francis.
3 touchdowns for Dominic Bragalone.
Yes, sir. He's another Central Pennsylvania guy.
South Williamsport.
South Williamsport.
Yeah.
And you have to get it right. It can't just be Williamsport. It has to be South Williamsport.
There's a difference. Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. A lot of talent in the Patriot League this year, that's for sure.
3rd down and 9. Brenneman under duress. Brady drops him. Back to the Raiders' own 2-yard line. Well, in that game where Ross Tucker did start was up here in Hamilton, but first.
Yeah, I didn't get any sacks in that game like Ryan Brady just did. That's the same stunt they ran earlier. And that's going to really frustrate the Colgate coaches. Because Holland didn't block anybody there. And Brady came scot-free. He had 4 sacks last year, gets another one right there, and Holy Cross is playing. Colgate guys are holding the 4th quarter up.
And that's exactly where we're headed. 3-score game, but the Crusader defense showing up here for Bob Chesney. Colgate looking to start the year with a victory. 4th quarter coming here on Stadium.
Facebook Watch, we introduced our student correspondent, Tegan Graham. She's a women's basketball player here at Colgate. She's been helping us throughout the week. Tegan, what's been the highlight of this student correspondent experience for you?
I'd probably just have to say working with you guys. I mean, it's just been a lot of fun, you know, getting to learn like the inside kind of, you know, perspective of how you guys do things and how it works. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
You're from New Zealand, so I have to ask, how does someone from New Zealand hear about Colgate University in Hamilton, New York? What's your recruiting story?
I actually got recruited by Colgate from playing Colgate. So they did a home trip for one of the players who graduated about 3 or 4 years ago, who was on the team from New Zealand. And I ended up playing one of the teams that they played when they did the home trip, and I got recruited.
And how would you describe the camaraderie between all of the student athletes? I know your teammates are up here in the stands today, all of the student athletes coming out to support every sport. How would you describe the uniqueness here at Colgate?
Well, I think it's amazing. I mean, Colgate's a really small school, so there's a lot of athletes that you meet and that you know. And yeah, we get along really well. All the teams support each other. We love coming out to each other's games. We know each other really well. Yeah, and we have that great connection.
Speaking of knowing each other well, you were the one that gave us the inside scoop on the offensive lineman, Max Hartman, driving around his scooter. And we're going to have a story coming up later on that. And from the fans, we're going to ask you guys a fun question with Max Hartman's scooter. He's the center of this Colgate football team. And Coach Hunt has some rules and stipulations for him when it comes to that scooter. Stay tuned on Facebook, and you can hear more about that thanks to the insight that Tegan provided us to begin with. Thanks so much, Tegan.
Thanks, Morgan. 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
I'll begin our final 15 minutes here from Hamilton. 3-point third quarter for Holy Cross, the only points on the board. And now Colgate pinned back deep. Josh Serra having to punt out of his own end zone. And John Roberts. And we get in what seemingly felt like an inadvertent whistle. And Bob Chesney is furious, and I don't blame him.
I don't be careful, though. You're not supposed to come outside of the white to argue a call. They better get him back on the sideline.
And being directed back there. I don't have any explanation for that, Ross, as to why that whistle necessarily even happened. I couldn't tell you.
I'm confused as well.
All day. Well, I don't know if that was the problem.
Let's see if Holy Cross gets back to that ground game that they've been having some success with this young offensive line.
You wonder what kind of field position the Crusaders might have had with John Roberts, who ends up with this pass off his fingertips. 2nd and long coming, and a late penalty flag coming in. I think we might have had a takedown by Brian Foley. And apparently John Roberts made the fair catch signal. I don't know that I saw it.
I didn't see it, so it must have been real early. But that's weird because the ball bounced.
And it was a line drive.
Well in advance of him.
It was a line drive, so.
Facebook.
First down and long after the penalty. And Clifford, under duress, has to toss it out of bounds. Caleb Fell with the one applying the pressure. And Brian Foley was guilty of the hold and ended up bringing Holy Cross back here.
And again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, Matt, but you know their strength right now is their offensive line and running the football. And you get in these situations now, 2nd and 20, it makes that very difficult.
Yeah, 4 penalties today on the day for the Crusaders. Just having a tough time. This Hull applies the pressure.
That's a football player right there.
Yep.
You want to know what a real deal football player looks like? Number 21 in maroon.
Yeah, family of football players out of the Pittsburgh area. His brother Jake is actually watching right now, plays at Mercyhurst.
Now it helps when you're not blocked because they're trying to run a screen, but he still had the presence of mind to get the hand up and get a piece of the football. Love the way that young man plays football.
And TJ Hall, grandson of a former Buffalo Bill trainer. Clifford ends up slipping this one in here on 3rd down and long to Cozier. Courtney Mims, backup corner, makes the stop for the Raiders.
And they're going to go for it this time. I think this is the right decision. I mean, here we are, 4th quarter. You're still down 3 touchdowns. Why not?
Converted 57% a year ago. But that was with a more veteran group, 17 of 30. Under an offense led by Peter Pujols.
Can they get the ball to Blaze Bell? He's the bottom of your screen, man-to-man coverage.
4th and 12. Clifford. Cozier, the connection. And into the end zone. 41-yard catch and run for the touchdown.
Once again, Clifford's mobility, doesn't see anything early, comes out, throws the ball just over TJ Hall's outstretched hands. That is a tough cover. Asking a linebacker to cover a speedy running back like Dominic Cozier at 5'9", a $175, and Cozier went high to get to that pylon. That's a big-time play by Clifford and Cozier for Holy Cross.
What's the first career receiving touchdown for Cozier? And overall, his 4th touchdown of what's 2+ years in Worcester. That going for Holy Cross's longest offensive play today. Here it is.
Well, this is the play before that Hall was able to get a piece of. And then they came right back to attack Hall moving forward, and they were able to get it done. And we talked to Holy Cross offensive coordinator Patrick Murphy during the week, and he said, you're going to see an increase in receptions for our running backs. Watch this. After he catches it, goes up to the air. Did the left hand touch out of bounds before the ball broke the plane? That's what I'm sure they're looking at right now. Tough to see, obviously, from that angle.
Eric Lewis and his crew.
The ruling is confirmed. Touchdown.
See where he jumps from. 5-yard line, hand down, touchdown. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's something.
That is awesome.
Ing on for the extra point. And all of a sudden, a minute and change into the 4th quarter, Ross Tucker, we have ourselves a football game. Holy Cross, 4 running backs a year ago. Dom Cozier was one of them. More touches this year, and certainly benefiting. Crusaders now down 2 touchdowns.
There are probably some of these fans at home now watching today, some of you guys on Facebook in some fantasy football leagues. So we want to know from Ross Tucker, who is his fantasy football sleeper? We want to help these people out at home. So Ross, who's yours this year?
There's some guys I like based on what they did in the preseason and based on how certain situations have played out. How about Royce Freeman, the rookie for running back for the Denver Broncos? I think he's got a chance to score a bunch of touchdowns this year. I even like Cortland Sutton, wide receiver for the Broncos as well. So I'll give you a couple Broncos, Morgan.
All right, Matt, what about you? Are you involved in any leagues? Do you keep up with fantasy?
Morgan, I'm going to be the stick in the mud. I haven't had a fantasy team in about 5 or 6 years.
I'm right there with you, Matt.
Certainly,
I have not either.
Only because it ruined my Sundays. I would lose, and I would get so mad to the point where it made me not want to watch football.
Right, and you got to keep it fun. I've heard a lot about Eli Manning being a sleeper this year. People think with the new head coach for the Giants and with Odell Beckham's juniors, with his new contract being renewed, Saquon Barkley there this season, he might be a sleeper. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, Manning, if it depends on which Eli Manning you get, I guess, right, yeah. Ross Tucker?
Well, they've improved the offensive line, for sure the left side, and they've got all kinds of weapons now. Sterling Shepard, you got tight end Evan Ingram, Odell Beckham should be happy after he got that new contract, and as Morgan mentioned, Saquon Barkley. So they've got plenty of weapons. Let's put it this way, Eli doesn't really have any excuses this year, that's for sure.
Any fans at home with any insight, they can share their sleepers with us too. We'll all help each other out.
4, 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
Holy Cross on the board now. The field goal in the third quarter. Dominic Cozier, the 41-yard touchdown catch. Able to put a cap on the Holy Cross drive. 4 plays, 39 yards. Takes a minute and 10 seconds after set up with good field position. Coming off of a big Ryan Brady sack. Bobby wants to know, Ross, onside kick time?
Ooh, I like that, Bobby. You know what? No, there's too much time left, and Holy Cross has all the momentum, unless you feel real good about a surprise onside here, based on what you saw a year ago. Kick it away and get another 3 and out. Your defense is playing great.
Wilkinson with a good boot. A no return. Out to the 25-yard line for Rocket. I mean, especially with the way your defense has played, the pressure that they've brought in the second half. Stefanik and Brady, and that front four of Capsis and McCardle, Forster, Ebo.
Colgate's got to shift back into overdrive. Feels like they've been sleepwalking here in the second half. Grant Brenneman and his troops need to find a way to get some momentum here, start to get the run game going a little bit, lean on the veteran offensive line, and get some points on the board. It's a 2-score game.
2-back set. And the first carry of his collegiate career for Colgate freshman John Cox. Goes across the 30-yard line. Cox out of Moorhaven, Florida.
He looks like a Colgate running back to me. About 5'8", 210 pounds, something like that. He's listed at 5'7", 200, but in a couple years, he'll probably be up to like 210, 215. Colgate definitely has a body type for their backs.
And he goes for 6 on his first touch. Holland out of the backfield this time. Brenneman slinging it. Sideline catch for Rocket, his 5th of the day. And move those chains for the Raiders again.
That was a big first down, just to try to calm Holy Cross down a little bit. Give Colgate a chance to get going. Maybe they'll settle in and go for a long drive here. Try to put this game away.
And we talked about Owen Rocket as a guy who could fly under the radar. With all the options that Colgate has, that's his 5th catch, 79 yards and a score today. Holland having to fight his way on first down across the 40. Ryan Brady right into the arms of the middle linebacker for the Crusaders.
And while it's not an overly hot day, the sun has been out, and right around now is when you really feel all the work you put in all summer and feel what kind of shape you're in. Because no matter what you do at practice, it's hard to simulate playing a full game.
Yeah, no substitute for in-game reps either. Play fake on 2nd and long. Rocket. Stefanik in there on the coverage along with Chris Riley. Next Saturday, Sacred Heart heading on the road to visit Bucknell. You can catch that game 3 p.m. Eastern on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both TV and digital devices without a cable subscription. Check your local listings or go to watchstadium.com and click where to watch.
We will be there.
And your former O-line coach at Princeton, Joe Susan.
Yeah, head coach
man
at Bucknell.
Big third down for Brenneman and the Raiders. Made incomplete. Trying to set up Holland. Had some room out in front of them if they were able to execute it. And there is a lot of time in this football game, and Holy Cross is going to get this ball back.
But Holy Cross stands. We can hear it. They are getting fired up. Remember, this is a team that lost a year ago 42-7 to Colgate. And that was when they had 27 seniors, including 3 that got into NFL camps.
And Sarah out of bounds with this punt. Has just not had a good day for a veteran punter in this league. With 11:31 to play here in the fourth quarter. Purple Haze potentially in Hamilton. Crusader football.
In the last break, I shared with you a fun story that our student correspondent Tegan Graham actually led us towards, and that's offensive lineman and a captain of this team, Max Hartzman. He actually buzzes around campus on a scooter. So he got this scooter, and even now Jack Badanovic also got himself a scooter. So these are both offensive linemen, big 250-pound guys driving around on these scooters. And I was talking to Coach Hunt about it, and he said he actually has some stipulations. The guys always have to wear a helmet and no bare feet. They always need to wear shoes. So we, as of now, we know that he does not have a name for this scooter, so we want to know what should he name this thing. And it was funny because all week we had been trying to get him to get a picture of himself on it, or have a teammate take a photo, but I don't think Max wanted a photo of him on that scooter. So Coach Hunt actually messaged me this morning a photo of these two scooters outside when these two were at breakfast. So Max, what do we call it, guys? What do you think we should call it?
Go ahead, Ross.
Things. How about Boss Hog?
I like that.
From the old, what's the name of that show?
Well, Alex.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, Boss Hog.
I like it.
Alex Karras was Boss Hog, wasn't he?
No.
Well,
Alex Karras?
Yeah. Who was Boss Hog? I can't remember.
Hog. I don't know who's Boss Hog. It wasn't Alex Karras. I think that's a great idea, though, Morgan. I like those scooters, especially with the hill they have here on campus.
Ross, you were a former offensive lineman. How would you imagine riding around on one of those scooters?
I would have loved that. I'm not a big fan of walking.
31-yard line is where Holy Cross will start. Just a few minutes into this fourth quarter, and the tide has certainly turned for the Crusaders. First down for Clifford and Blaze Bell, who gets up near the sticks and looks like he has enough for a fresh set of downs. Right back on the ball, coming into the hurry up for Clifford. And this time, Alexander right out to the 50-yard line. 8-yard gain on first down. Crusaders testing the will of this Raider defense. Alexander, more first down yardage.
A lot of maroon jerseys on the ground, and a lot of purple and white jerseys knocking them back. And this is a shame for Holy Cross that they have an injury for two reasons. One, that one of their players is down, but secondly, they had all the momentum there. I mean, they really had Colgate on their heels, and now Colgate gets a chance to regroup and take a breath.
Boy, what a difference this second half has made. And hopefully just a cramp. Opening of the Bob Chesney era that featured what was 3 first-half turnovers for Holy Cross and a 24-0 deficit, 10 unanswered, though, for Holy Cross. So this was our first-half look. 104 total yards and the 3 turnovers for the Crusaders. And then hit the fast-forward button. Wow. You want to talk about a change, Ross Tucker?
Wow is right. I mean, the Colgate coaches cannot be happy about what's going on right now.
Has 7 total yards in this second half. All Crusaders.
And a lot of it's been the pressure. Stefanik off the edge. Brady on the Sam Mike stunt from the weak side.
New fresh set of downs. Bell looked like they wanted maybe the throwback to Clifford, but that ended up closing up quickly. Blaze Bell dropped for a loss. They get too creative there, Ross?
I think so. I mean, they've had so much success just running right at him.
Darren checks in, says the first quarter mishaps by Holy Cross is the difference right now. Keep up the defensive pressure. Need to continue to move the football. Dorsey with a catch. That will set up 3rd down and long.
You got to think this is 4-down territory right now. If you're Holy Cross, less than 10 minutes left, you're at the 40-yard line. I'd be thinking 2 downs to get this 7 yards, not just 1 here.
Clifford now over 100 yards passing on the day. 3rd down, and that's a miscommunication. Wanted Dorsey on the home run ball, Castillo in coverage.
And that's the issue with going for that right there, is now you still have 7 yards to go on 4th down. Maybe time to see Blaze Bell again, or else maybe Clifford can pull a Brenneman and make a play with his legs and then find somebody downfield. That's been the biggest offense so far today, really, for both teams, is the quarterback buying time and then delivering the football.
Impressed with the confidence that they've shown at Clifford, with a guy who has started some games and Jeff Wade behind him. 4th down at 7. Clifford, 1st down.
Wow.
It continues for the Crusaders.
That was a gutsy run right there. Stunt up front. Clifford knows where he has to get and goes for it and takes the punishment.
1st and 10 for the Raider 31. This time Cozier, penalty flag comes in. Down to the 19.
When your hand gets outside the framework of your body as an offensive lineman, they're going to call hold.
Fifth Holy Cross penalty.
That's killer for Holy Cross. They've had some issues with these penalties here in the second half. They've moved the ball well, but the penalties have set them back to the point where they're not able to make first downs because, you know, it ends up being 1st and 20 or whatever.
Backs them way up. From the Raider 41. Cozier wanting the edge. Has the edge. And some more.
Watch the jump cut right there. Boom. Scoop. Wisniewski running the alley. Usually a short tackler, not able to make it.
Ben Hunt had to run him out. And another big carry for Cozier, this time dropped by Darami Soiree, but not before the chains move again.
Cozier is tired. Holy Cross's tempo is wearing out Colgate right now. Holy Cross needs to snap the ball and get up on the ball as fast as they can because Colgate's tired and Colgate is on their heels.
Second red zone trip of the game. Clifford sold the fake and got it to Tenio Ayeni, and a penalty flag comes in late. Picked up just a couple of yards. See what this is about. Eric Lewis and crew. Holy Cross has actually outgained Colgate now at this point.
It's incredible.
272 total yards of offense. If not for those 3 first-half turnovers, you wonder what kind of situation this game would be in now.
Personal foul, face mask, 94 defense. 15 yards from the end of the run.
94 come in right here. Yeah, he got it. Initially, I thought maybe he just got the shoulder pad, but he got it.
It's the backup linebacker, Matt Carendang. First and goal from the 8. Alexander trying to cut his way in, and just a couple. Right back on the ball for Clifford on second and goal. Alexander again getting close.
And he's slow to get up. And you definitely don't want to have to stop the game and give Colgate a breather here again. They got a pretty dynamic 1-2 punch, though, with Alexander and Cozier. Both juniors.
And Cozier, 105 all-purpose yards. Alexander, 95 on the ground. Overall, Holy Cross run game has averaged 4 yards a carry this afternoon.
Maybe the quarterback keeps you here once.
Third and goal. Cozier moving his way through. And no signal just yet. Didn't quite get there. Fourth and goal with a quick snap. Cozier turned into the end zone. We have an 8-point football game.
Same play again. Cozier gets hit in the backfield by Hall and just spins over. They might take a look at this because he got hit back there. He wasn't down. He was on Stephen's body. Stephen actually swung him into the end zone.
So one receiving, one on the ground for Cozier. Eng with what is a big extra point. 17 unanswered for the Crusaders.
This is awesome.
Down to our final 7 minutes. The pace of Holy Cross giving Colgate problems. One-score game.
Matt Ross, this Holy Cross sideline is absolutely electric right now. All of the Crusaders have been up on their feet for the last 5 minutes, and after that face mask penalty, even more so. Coach Chesney has been looking forward to the way that he was going to be able to see his players in full speed, and he's certainly seeing that now today. He must be excited about it. Here's what he told us earlier.
Well, Bob Chesney obviously very excited. His family very excited as well. Both Ross and I ended up before the game getting to visit with his 93-year-old grandfather, Mickey Yankovic, who's a World War II veteran. And I don't know if Coach Chesney wanted us to share this. He's a Lehigh graduate. And Bob said he told him that Coach Chesney said he's not allowed to wear his Lehigh gear today.
He broke that rule.
My grandson.
Yeah, he's got the brown and white.
Head coach on Holy Cross.
my grandson.
Win this game if we can keep it up. I'm 93 years old.
And he is in fact 93 years old.
It's a beautiful day. Thank you.
Those guys, those World War II guys, they're like the greatest guys ever. They really are. They're my heroes.
He told me today, Ross, that November 11th, he's going to be on the Pennsylvania Cable Network for Veterans Day. They did an interview with him. Down to our final 7 minutes, and we have a touchdown game on our hands. Colgate, the team picked to win the Patriot League, has given up what is now 17 unanswered points. Dominic Cozier, back-to-back touchdowns for Holy Cross. Morgan Uber told us on Facebook the sideline was electric. Just about everybody up except for offensive lineman Rory Costello, who just came off the field after the score. But the whole sideline bouncing up and down. Wilkinson and Rocket. Colgate needed a good return. They get one out to the 33-yard line. And how about the kicker and punter, Cody Wilkinson, is the one to make the stop, fired up coming off the pile.
Yeah, they needed him to. Rocket had something there.
Stadium is your new way to watch national sports. The only 24/7 network available on both TV and digital devices without a cable subscription. Live and classic games, daily live studio shows, and more original programming. Check your local TV listings or go to watchstadium.com. Stadium, a new way to watch sports. Welcome to the game. Matt Martucci, former NFL veteran Ross Tucker, Morgan Uber on the sideline. Type of action that hopefully you can expect to see all season. And Brenneman with a big completion to start the drive to Owen Buscaglia.
And Buscaglia's hurt. He comes out after that play.
And he picks up 6. And haven't heard from Trey Kane much. Still looking for the Colgate wideout who had a big impact a year ago.
More pressure from Holy Cross here, Matt.
Yeah, don't know that we've even seen Kane out there today.
And then they back off, come from the other side.
And Brady and a couple other tacklers.
Kane's out there now.
Able to corral James Holland. And the biggest third down of the game without question. Colgate 4 of 11. Raiders offense has been stymied in this second half. Holland can't push the pile. Holy Cross defense holds.
This is unbelievable. A terrific job up front. Haddon got in there. Brady got in there. And they're going to say first down. I thought he lost yardage. Wow. We need to take another look at that one at some point from the sideline angle because he looked like he lost yardage to me.
And it forces the Holy Cross defense to actually have to do it again.
Man.
Hashtag HC versus Gate to comment on Facebook. Steve says this team has heart.
Last play.
And we get a penalty flag movement on the Colgate line.
All right, they had the ball at about the 41 and a half, let's call it. He gets the ball, he gets hit. Wow, I don't know. I mean, you see him at the bottom of the pile there. I guess he kind of squeezed out the bottom of the pile to get closer to the 42. Right at the bottom of that pile. You know, his initial surge just got totally stuffed behind the line. I thought he ducked under and evidently got enough.
Brenneman this time calling his own number, runs right into the arms of Jake McCardle. And now second down and long after a pickup of a few. Holy Cross side of things letting the officials know they weren't happy with that spot.
Yeah. I think that's an understatement.
After this play, down to Morgan.
Coming up on 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Brenneman rolling out, nowhere to go. All kinds of pressure coming from the Crusaders. Alex Johnson, the one to chase him down. And down to Morgan on the sideline.
With time winding down, who do you guys think the Facebook player of the game is? I mean, you know, clearly Holy Cross could have a shot at this. It necessarily doesn't have to be from the winning team. They're still very much in this game. Matt, Ross, who would your vote be? And we'll let the fans at home also have a say interacting with us on Facebook. And whoever ends up receiving the most votes, that will be decided as our player of the game.
I might go Cozier.
Yeah, I was thinking Cozier for Colgate.
Brenneman, big third down, laid it right in there.
I'm going to go Brenneman.
or Owen Rocket.
Yeah, you know what? Rocket's had a terrific game. You're right.
6th catch of the day.
Man, Brenneman is just so calm, cool, and collected. He's still only a sophomore. First game of his sophomore year, and he's clutch. He makes the plays they need to make when they need them.
Crusaders, at this point, you start thinking about timeouts. There are 2 of them left. Colgate has all 3. And went for 22 for Rocket, who's now over 100 yards. Twyman on the carry. It gets swallowed up on 1st and 10. Neil Vorster.
And that one's on Brenneman because Vorster's not blocked. So Brenneman needs to pull that ball and take it. Vorster's had a big game. He's been impressive.
Senior out of Exeter, New Hampshire.
Man, you don't see a lot of guys from New Hampshire.
No, in his hometown, apparently they had a UFO sighting back in 1965, known as the Incident at Exeter.
You do a lot more research than I do. How did you come up with that?
The internet is a beautiful thing, Ross.
Forster again.
2nd down and long.
And that time, Brenneman made the wrong decision again, I think. I think that time he was supposed to give the ball to Twyman. Watch it. I think Vorster's playing with him. Watch, he's the guy they're reading. They don't touch him. And he makes it look like he's going with Twyman, but then redirects to get Brenneman. And you see Brenneman right away. He knew it. He knew it right away. It's back-to-back tackles for loss. Vorster's playing a mental game here just as much as a physical one, trying to get Brenneman off the scent of which one he's taking on these read option plays.
Let's do card 4 here. Card 4 comes up tonight. More football.
Well, what's a big day here today on Stadium? More college football coming your way tonight at 7:30, where SMU visits the Mean Green of North Texas. That game right here on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both TV and digital devices without a cable subscription. Game 1 of what is 10 in our Patriot League slate this year. Ross and I will be out in Lewisburg next week. 3 o'clock kickoff for Sacred Heart and Bucknell. Sacred Heart actually taking on Lafayette later today. But here, what has been a second half dominated by the start of the Bob Chesney era, his Crusaders, 17 unanswered points after the Colgate defense came up in a big way in the first half, forcing what was 3 Crusader turnovers. Brenneman on 3rd and long, won't get out of this one. Jordan Jackson, the first time we've called his name today.
It started with a real nice rush by Teddy Capsis off the edge, 91. Left side of your screen, Teddy Capsis with the one-arm stab. Brenneman has to get out of there and really does well just to break a tackle and force Holy Cross to use a timeout and get some positive yardage here.
Half wondering here, looking at Chris Puzzy warming up on the sideline. Coaching staff has told us before they feel comfortable with him in the 50 or so range. So this would be 52 to try and potentially put this out of reach.
Man, that would be showing a lot of confidence. They still have their offense out there. You know, earlier in the game in this situation, from the 35, they elected to punt it. Here it looks like they're going to go for it. Talk about a big play. This is a very, very aggressive decision by Colgate head coach Dan Hunt, as opposed to trying to punt him and pin him inside the 10.
1 for 1 on 4th down today. Both teams have converted all of their attempts. Plenty of intestinal fortitude to go around on both sides. Need to get to the Holy Cross 26. Brenneman wants it all. Buscalia holds on.
What a catch.
First and goal coming, and Owen Buscalia, who has been so big in this program from a work ethic standpoint.
He just got hurt like 4 plays ago. A little bit of hand fighting there. The Holy Cross coaches think it was a push-off. A little bit of hand fighting there, and Buscalia brings it in.
I'm wondering, looking at the end of that, Ross, does he have complete control?
They're talking about reviewing it. Colgate's trying to get the playoff before they do review it. At least the Holy Cross fans are.
First and goal with the 7. Holland dropped by Jason Modak, who's a freshman on that defensive line.
Man, that is a gutsy call on 4th and 10 from the 35 to throw a fade route down the sideline. I mean, what did that cover? Like 25, 30 yards in the air. Wow.
And 28-yard completion, what it ended up being.
Dan Hunt and Chris Young, the Colgate coaching staff, Grant Brenneman, they got some serious stones.
One thing I do know, if your name is Owen and you play wideout for Colgate, you've had a good day today.
Yeah, really.
Second and goal with Holland.
All right,
Stefanik getting physical.
Yeah, let's take a look at it one more time. What, right there. There's a little bit of a push off there for sure. Has it?
I thought it wiggled a little bit there.
You know, it was coming up towards his shoulder. I don't know that he had control when he had the 2 feet down. Of course, in college football, you only need one
anyway.
Yeah, but my point was he had 2 feet down when it looked like he initially caught it. And then when he actually had possession of it, that might have been when that other knee came down. And he definitely got away with a little bit of a push-off. But you know my philosophy on that, Matt. It's only a penalty if they call it.
If they call it.
Yeah, I was an offensive lineman. I held all the time. It's only a penalty if they call it.
Third down. Here late in this 4th quarter. Bob Chesney still pleading his case with this officiating crew. I think if you can read lips, you might have been able to decipher that.
I'm not touching that one.
There was a large animal, maybe a bull.
Man, you think about all the hours and all the man hours from all the different people that they put in for this game, you know? And it comes down to one play here, one play there.
And Colgate's done this without 2 of their top wideouts. Didn't see Trey Kane today. Thomas Ives, as Brenneman takes the knee. Not in since the first half. But you have to give Holy Cross all the credit in the world. Dan Hunt, Chris Young, the rest of the Colgate coaching staff told us they thought it would be a battle.
That's a
second half was.
That's a sense of relief smile right there from Dan Hunt. That's a, wow, I'm glad we were able to hang on.
Colgate wins what's the 7th straight in this series for the Raiders, 24-17. Final thoughts coming up here on Stadium. Stay with us on Facebook.
Coach, you just told me you make it interesting. 4th and 10 on the 35. What was that play call there?
It just was a play where we had a little something by the 3 receivers, and then if they got one-on-one on the backside, you know, Grant and Skaggs have hit that all day, all camp, and they made the play. That's what they're there for, you know, and they bailed us out a little bit, and you know, it was a good finish. A lot of work to do, but, you know, we'll never apologize for a win. They're hard, particularly in the league, so, you know, I'm happy we made the play.
Coach, congratulations on the win. See you soon.
Thank you so much.
20. All right, we're going to spend a minute here. 15. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
7-point victory, and Colgate needed all 7 of those points. As the Raiders improved to what's 1-0 to start the year, and 7th straight in this series. Matt Martucci, Ross Tucker, a second half that belonged primarily to the Crusaders, and if not for an interesting spot on the football on that Holland rush and then a big catch from Buscalia, you might be talking about some extra football here.
Well, Holy Cross would have had to find a way to be able to score again, but yeah, certainly three big-time breaks for Colgate on that last drive to seal the win. You almost feel like Holy Cross will feel better about it more than Colgate after that game.
See you next week in Lewisburg. For my broadcast partner, Ross Tucker, Morgan Uber on the sideline, Matt Martucci saying good afternoon from Hamilton. Your final score, Colgate 24-17. Watch stadium.com, search Stadium in your local channel guide.